Hello, everyone. I'm Dennis.
I'm Andrew.
We are the Crafty Lumberjacks. Thank you so much for joining us today for the 12 days of card making. Shout out to Fiskars for having us, and of course, Michaels. Today, we are making these DIY watercolor birch tree holiday greeting cards.
I love these because they look really difficult, but they are super, super easy. So if you're crafting along, let us know in the chat, just so if you have any questions or anything like that. Dennis is going to be on the chat. So please feel free to ask us to slow down or ask a specific question or anything like that.
But not too slow, because we do have a timeline.
That's right. I was going to say, we kind of have a lot of stuff to do, so we are going to keep things moving.
We do these classes every month. Next month on December 6th, excuse me, let me check my notes here. December 6th, we're teaching these DIY origami Christmas trees. Really pretty, really fun, really easy to make. All you need is paper. And we're also going to be making the boxes with the Fiskars gifting board, which we are giving away today.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so we hope you join us for that. It's not on the Michaels website yet, but it will be probably next week. And I'll also send these out. If you enter our giveaway at the end of the class, I usually send out a reminder about signing up for our class. So I will send those out once it's up there on the website and loaded.
I love these origami trees because, like Dennis said, all you need is one sheet of paper for each tree, and it's all a folding technique. And I think the best part is, like, if you're looking for last minute little details for your holiday decorations, this is a perfect craft for you. So join us for the next class. There we go. I almost,
Yes. And then should we get started here?
I think so. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our watercolor paper. We kind of said we're going to try to go a little quick. We're going to go back and forth from the watercolor technique because it does take time to dry in certain spots. But we're going to start by cutting down our watercolor paper to 3.5 by 4.5 inches.
Yes. So we can
we switch to, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Michael sells these beautiful watercolor packets. Really great, large pieces of paper. We're actually going to be cutting these down. You can make a full sheet of your birch trees first, and then cut them down to smaller sizes for your cards. We're going to cut them first and work with smaller pieces just because that's how we roll.
But Dennis had that idea after we had made these, and I was like, oh my gosh, that makes total sense.
So I'm using the Fiskars cutting board here. One of our favorites.
Yes.
Is this part of the giveaway?
I don't believe this week is part of the giveaway now, but it usually is. We have a lot of stuff in the giveaway this week.
Okay, and what size did you say? 3.5.
3.5 by 4.5. What I love about Fiskars paper cutter is that everything is marked very, very easily. As you can see, like, the numbers are big, the lines are big, so it's very easy to line everything up and cut very accurately. But yeah, Dennis's idea of, if you want to start with a big sheet of paper and do this on a big scale and then cut it down for each card, you could do that for sure. And wait, then by 5 by 5.
5.5.
5.5. Yeah, sorry, 5.5. Where's your kitty cat? Kathy, our cat is passed out on our bed. Apparently the time change really did it in for him. He's exhausted.
Yeah, so what's great about this paper here is I was just able to cut 2 equal size pieces right in half. Did you plan it that way?
Of course I did. No, I didn't.
Andrew's not a planner, but somehow that worked out.
All right. Okay, so now that we have our paper cut, do you want to put that over here?
Sure.
We can now start cutting our tape. I'm actually going to pull out our mat. This is just great if you are, I guess we didn't clean it off. I didn't clean it up, but you know what? That's okay. This is really great if you are, if you're a messy crafter like I am. I'm just going to wipe this table because it looks like it's a little wet. Here we go. But as you can see, everything wipes off really easily. You don't even have to clean it from craft to craft. It's fine. So
you should have done your tongue twisters this morning.
I really should have. Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. Okay. So to make this card, to make these birch trees really, really simple, we're using painter's tape, and we're going to be cutting it. And what the painter's tape is going to be doing is actually going to be what's in between the trees. So like we were saying, this is a really simple technique that looks really difficult, and using the painter's tape is a really easy way to give you that definition. So we're going to be using our Fiskars scissors that are actually non-stick. What I love about these is that they don't get sticky on the blades when you're cutting it, which is super great.
We did have a question about the paper size.
Okay. What's the question about the paper
What
size?
is the paper size?
Oh, sorry. It's 3.5 by 4.5.
5.5.
Oh, did I tell you 5.5? It's
You
4.5.
did. Okay.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Starting off crazy. 3.5 by 4.5, and then the actual card size itself is going to be 8.5 by 5.5.
It's a quick fix, and honestly, it doesn't really matter. You can kind of have these cards be any size. This is just that when we've been working with them, this is the side that we did because, of course, we're doing a layered technique. You can kind of see here it has 3 different layers. By 4.5, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So the watercolor paper is 3.5 by 4.5. I'm sorry.
That's why I was like, this can't be. There's something wrong here that this is this perfect.
All right. So now we're going to start cutting our tape. So what I want an overhang for each piece. So what I'm going to do first is hold the tape over, and then I'm going to rip it off. Dennis, you want to make one too today?
Yes, I'm going to make it with you.
Okay. Here's a pair of scissors you can use. And then I'm going to start cutting strips. Now, I'm going to cut these strips, I don't know. I don't want them to be perfect because I don't want these to look like stripes specifically. But I'm thinking about 1/4 of an inch to a little bit over 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm literally just going to, as I'm cutting these, I'm just going to put them right here on the side of the table as I'm cutting. Now, if you don't have nonstick scissors,
you're in luck.
You can,
because we are giving them away today. We're going to give away the silicone mat, the bone folder, the nonstick scissors, and the Fiskars giving board, which we're going to feature towards the end of the class today.
Yes, but I was going to say, if you don't have nonstick scissors, you can use regular scissors. I just think the nonstick scissors are helpful when we craft with sticky things, which happens frequently.
Everybody said, thank you for clarifying. Yes to messy crafters.
You know, I always get a little tripped up on daylight savings days, even when they are giving me an extra hour. For some reason, my brain doesn't really want to work.
And then what's the excuse for the rest of the day?
Well, you know, I usually find an excuse. So I'm thinking about 5 stripes of tape will do. That will give us about 6 trees.
Yeah, and also, you know, these classes are recorded, so if you ever need to review any of the steps, we also have the full step outs and instructions on our blog, craftylumberjacks.com, where you can get all the information that you need in case you missed something or if you want to go back. Again, we're doing small pieces of watercolor paper here, but you can do a really large version of this and then cut it down.
Yeah, what I love about this craft is really you could use it for anything. You don't have to make these into cards. You could, you know, put these in frames.
I was kind of thinking that, like pretty. A picture.
Yeah, wouldn't that be really pretty if you did a handful of them and you had a little gallery wall of these lightly watercolored birch trees? I think that would be really stunning. All right, so now, let me see.
Can we do a different angle here?
Yeah, let me put this like a little more here.
It's a marshmallow world in the
winter.
Have people started to listen to Christmas music yet? Too soon? We are all in. We are so ready. Yes, Connie.
There we go. This is looking nice. Okay, so now we're going to start adding our tape right to our cards. Now, you can add them however you want. I usually started kind of doing right on the edge here because for me, I just didn't want everything to look too symmetrical, but you don't have to.
I'm going to do mine.
Do it however
off.
you want.
And now kind of what we're doing here is blacking out the area where we're not going to be painting.
Absolutely.
So, you know, even though these kind of already have the shape of the tree, that's not where we're painting. I mean, I think that it's obvious, but, you know.
So as you can see here, this is our first birch tree. Right here, our first birch tree right here.
And if you can see, we kind of like cut the tape like a little rickety. You know, birch trees, although they're pretty like straight and narrow, we still want to give it some kind of texture with just kind of like making our little prison bars like kind of a little rough and kind of.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is you didn't cut a fully straight line. You let it be a little more
I let
organic.
it be a little like, yes.
Okay.
Everybody said, too soon, too soon. Kathy, we still have Halloween decorations up too. We have like a kind of Nightmare Before Christmas thing happening here. And the nightmare is my life.
And I actually like not spacing these out perfectly. That will give, like, maybe there's a couple trees closer together, you know, give that effect.
This one's going to be a big one.
And I'm kind of looking here and it's like, I'm going to cut this tape down. What I really like about using painter's tape as well is that you can peel it off. If you don't like where something's placed, it's very, very forgiving. And I'm going to say this now, as we make the cards today, there will be moments where you might be painting and you might be like, oh my God, this is going to turn out so ugly. However, I feel like once you pull off that tape, you will be pleasantly surprised no matter how it's looking.
Yes, when we were working on this, I didn't believe it to be true. And then I was, because I'm not a great artist. I'm not a great painter. And Andrew was like, no, just roll with it. Just roll with it. And when I peeled to reveal, I was like, oh my gosh.
I know. I was impressed. I thought yours was really good.
I know.
All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of tape laid down.
They like how the tape anchors the paper down to your work surface. Yes.
You know, Kathy, I like that too.
Is that okay?
That is great. So
I'm
now
just going to get a little close up of this here. So you kind of see we have it all set up, ready to go.
Is anybody crafting with us? Sorry if I missed that in the chat. I just want to make sure I know.
All right, let me just adjust this so we can get it.
Okay, the next step is to really press your tape down. Press the tape down.
And we're working right on our silicone mat here, which of course is going to be a part of our giveaway. And it's great because it washes clean. So we use this, the hot glue. You can kind of see the hot glue that we didn't clean off last time. And, you know, we paint right on here. We do all the things to protect our work surface. But it's been super helpful.
All right, so we got this palette at Michael's. These last forever.
Thank you, Buffy.
I'm going to be using kind of these hues. I really like the black, and this is almost like a blackish brown is really nice. I think the trick is less is more for this technique. So I'm going to really water down my watercolors. I'm trying to think, where could I put this palette? I'm going to move this for here right now. Do you think that looks good, Dennis?
Yeah.
Okay. So with watercoloring, you always want to have fresh water. You don't want to be using dirty water. And for these, we're using paintbrushes around this size. I felt like this was my favorite size we found. This is kind of like a flat paintbrush, but really I think anything will work. Dennis, you want to pick one out of these two?
I like this one.
Great. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my brush in water, take a little bit.
Is this water for me to use, or you need this for clean water?
No, you can use that if you want. And I'm going to start with this brownish black. If you don't have one of those, don't worry, you could just do black, or you could just do a little brown. I'm going to add it to the little palette area they have here. I can already tell this is way too dark. So I'm really going to want it to be nice and light. And actually, you know, something I like to have on hand when I'm doing this is why we actually cut it wrong, so I could have this extra piece.
Oh, it was strategic.
See, you know, I just found out. Yes. I like to have something where I can paint on. This is way too dark. Way too dark, because we really want to go from light to dark. So what I'm going to do, if you can see it over here, I'm going to take what I have in the palette here and move it over here and just add a little more water. With watercolors, I think it's easier to start off light and go dark. That looks pretty good to me. I actually wouldn't mind a little more brown in it, so I'm going to take a little from here and add it in, and let's see. Oh yeah, that's nice. So the first step is going to be taking this light brownish black and going along the edges. What we're doing is we're defining the trees. So I'm going to show you here. You can see these light lines are made by this. Now, when we're painting, we want to make sure that we keep a lot of the tree white because birch trees are inherently white. So I think that the less you paint, the more birch it's going to look. So we're going to go, again, we're going to follow the tape lines and go along the tape.
We had a question about the watercolor palette we're using. This is just a palette that we got at Michael's. It was one of the craft palettes.
Yeah,
fairly inexpensive. We've had this for about 7 years.
I know, yes.
Lasts a long time.
Absolutely.
But I don't know the brand, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
I don't know the brand either. Okay. Sorry, Dennis. I feel like I'm covering up your beautiful
no, it's fine.
work.
It's fine. Do your thing.
So again, we're just going to go along the edges of the tape. It's almost creating a shadow. Yeah, this is the light gray. And I'm going to go on each side. I want to make sure that I'm keeping some white there. Let's see. Do we have enough? We need to make a little more. There we go. And then
your sleeve is in there.
Oh, thank you. So since we are painting something natural, you don't want things to be too even. You don't want them to be too orderly,
symmetrical.
too symmetrical. You really think about having these, as you can see, like right here, I have kind of a darker spot as I go down. I don't need to correct that. I actually really like that. I want this to look as natural as possible.
Oh, so here comes the cat.
The imperfections are what's going to really set this apart. So again, I'm just going along the edges of the tape.
Happy trees.
Happy trees, happy trees.
And then you're kind of like taking a break. Like you're not going directly against the...
Wait, what?
Well, it's not just one long drag along the tape. It's kind of like spaced out, like little gaps. Correct?
Yes, correct. So I'm kind of keeping it a little organic, wiggly as I go.
Each tree tells a story.
And then I can go back. I can see like, oh, I really don't have anything here. Let me add a little. And this is a good time if you want to take free liberties. You can kind of maybe make a little bit of a darker splotch of paint and then add it in areas. But this is just the first layer, so don't feel like it's not looking right.
And it really won't look like anything, I feel.
Yeah.
Like when we were doing it, I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, this looks great. I'm like,
so
are you kidding me?
You're doing wonderful. All right. So now.
Artist Loft Brand. Thank you, Sandy. Yes, you're exactly right. That sounds very familiar.
So now we have our first coat, which is kind of this lighter area you can see right here. I'm going to go and make a little darker one and just do, like Dennis was saying, some random areas. So like a half a line or a quarter line here, and then pick it up again here, another one here and here. So I'm just going to make a little darker. I guess I'm going to use this gray, dip it in my water. Let's see, check it on my testing. That looks fine.
Doing mine kind of just rough, but
yeah. What I really like about this technique is that really there is no right or wrong way to do it.
And I'm sorry, I missed a step. So it's just a little darker now over the areas. Oh, here he is.
Here's Teddy Kruger.
No, don't drink it.
Oh, he's going to sit right on. Yep, that's fine.
Do you need water? So I'm using the same gray, but just going over a little darker.
Use the same gray. You can use a different shade if you want.
And do you recommend going in the same areas that we already did or a different area? Or kind of both?
I think a little bit of both. I think just finding random spots and just adding.
Do you need a water, Teddy?
A bit.
Is there another ramekin? I'm just going to pick them up. Oh, here's the glass. Here's a glass, Teddy. Here you go. We're so lucky to have a cat that wants to participate in all our crafts. You want water? Right here.
I'm going to tell you right now, the cat does not want the water.
He wants the watercolor water.
Okay.
He's like, that one looks better.
So I'm going to let this kind of dry for about a minute. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to take the black, water it down a bit, and we're going to start adding these iconic notches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of going vertically, I'm going to go horizontally and just take little areas and add like line, 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 line. We did get a question, Dennis.
Oh gosh, sorry. Have you ever lifted your tape and found the outlines weren't dark enough? What do you do in that case?
You know, I haven't. I think if it was in that case and you really wanted to keep on working on that card, I would add more tape. However, I kind of feel that might be tricky. I guess another thing you could do is maybe use a black pen and come in and create details. When we were actually making this card, I was like, should I add black pen? And we ended up not doing that. But
I also think we're going to add another kind of pop of sky once we finish with our trees. And I think maybe having that might bring out the your tree colors like a little more.
I agree. Okay, so I think this black is still looking a little too dark. Again, I think it's easier to add on top if you start off too light than to kind of take back, even though I know with watercolor, of course, you can just add water to erase. But so again, now I'm going to make the notches of the tree.
I'm a little behind.
That's
here.
okay. You're doing great. And I'm going to take my paintbrush and go a little horizontally. So I'm going to go like, burp.
Been distracted by the cat.
Yes, you really have. Okay, I think I want it a little darker than that. So I'm going to go in and add a few lines here. I can even just kind of add a dot there. Let's see.
Less is more. Less is
Less
more.
is more.
Trust the process.
So you see it's as easy as just taking your paintbrush with a little bit of black paint. I'm going to do it right here. And just dabbing it, making sure your paintbrush is more horizontal than vertical. It's really going to give it that barked look. There you go.
Oh, is mine looking rough, or you think it's fine?
That looks great, Dennis.
Okay.
You're falling into the trap you fell into
know,
last time.
I
I'm telling you,
know.
it's all going to look good. So here we go. Add a little more black.
Okay, so now the black lines.
Mm-hmm. And then I like this because I can, like over here, I felt like as I've been painting, it gets less and less or more and more diluted. I can go back and I can add a little more black right on top. I'm not looking for these to be sharp lines. So as you can see right here, it kind of all bled and spread. That's okay. I don't mind that specifically. Again, this is watercolor, so it's meant to not look, or these specifically aren't meant to look realistic. They are meant to look painted specifically. And I can see I'm pretty happy with how these look. But if you want to just continue to go, you can add a little bit more in certain areas. Dennis, that's looking great. Dennis is doing, and I think just because we're different people, you're doing
Wait,
more of like
we're different people.
You're doing more. Your brush is more dry, which I like. I think you're giving a nice technique. Mine is more wet, so it's kind of spreading as I go. Dennis is more dry. But
yeah, I keep kind of coming to my little kind of scrap piece paper and dabbing off a little before I kind of add it to the card. And then if I don't have enough, I kind of come back and I just do a little whoopie whoop.
Whoopie whoop and the swoopy swoop. But, you know, a part of me wants to keep touching it, but I think I'm going to kind of let it be.
Yeah, because we're it's already half hour of this.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying like how I want the card to look.
Oh, I see.
you know?
Yeah,
Okay,
kind
so-
of like, because you want that kind of negative space, like the white areas,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Even now in my head, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to look good. I don't know if this is going to look good on my own.
Yours looks kind of chaotic, bro.
Are you kidding me? No, we're going to pull these off and everyone's going to say, oh.
They like Andrew's better.
Well, I don't know if anyone's going to say that, but I just think
They better not. No, I'm just kidding.
In fact,
here I'm doing like a little splatter. Oh, that one looks so dark though.
That's okay. I want a little more shadow here. Okay, tell me how much longer you need, Dennis, because we're waiting on you.
Oh gosh, I don't need any time.
Are you sure?
Why? Because what am I doing?
I don't know. I just want to make sure you're done so we can move on.
Okay, I'm doing my lines, bro.
I like them. They look good. Okay, and then I think we should just peel it while it's wet.
Oh, okay.
And this way we can put it aside, and then we're going to cut our cards, and we're going to come back to this, just because we do want our trees to fully dry.
Okay.
I know it's one of those things that it's hard
I know.
to.
I'm like, wait, did I do it?
But you know, we are. I have to say, we are taking our time with this today. When we did this, when we were making them, I actually turned out a few of these very, very quickly. Okay, I can't keep touching it. I feel like I'm.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to start peeling.
What size is our watercolor pad? It is large. It is a big one. Probably like 12 by 16.
This is a 11 by 15.
Where's Teddy's card?
Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna do mine.
Wait, I want to like try to get
so you
closer.
can see.
Okay, you going?
Yeah. Very cute. Mine's a little lighter, but I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either. That's what I like about all of these. I think they can all be different. Mine actually is a little darker than I thought.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, Dennis. You see all these spots that you think are going to look.
You're doing it, Peter.
Are not going to look right. They really add these shadowy effects.
I mean, come on. I wasn't even paying. I'm like looking at the cat, blowing my nose. That is so cute.
That looks great.
Are you serious?
Okay, let me finish mine.
Wow. Yours looks very like cartoonish.
Excuse me?
Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
All right. I mean,
that is so pretty.
It really is. I really think the thing that makes this are these really light areas.
Everybody's saying, I like both.
Oh, that's so sweet. You must pick one.
They're scared.
No, I really don't think you have to.
Just kidding.
No, I'm just kidding.
I see a pair of crafters crafting together. I love to see it. Hi, Lizzie and friend. Hello.
Okay, so we're just setting these aside to dry. And now we're going to go back to cutting our paper, our card. Because when you're making cards, you can easily
make it any size.
Yes, you can make it any size when you know the measurements.
Oh. Yeah, literally. Oh gosh, wait, there's a spillage here.
There we go.
So again, we kind of refer to making these like on a big sheet and then cutting down the sheet might, if you're doing these in bulk, might be a better idea. But of course, you do you. I kind of like just kind of doing one at a time. There's something very relaxing, very soothing about it. For our cards, we're going to cut them down 8 by 5 by 5 by 5.
8.5 by 5.5.
What did I say?
8 by 5 by 5 by 5.
Well, I'm reading your notes.
Well, that's why I'm
So this way?
Yeah, 8.5 by 5.5. And then you're going to fold it and use the bone folder to give it a nice crisp edge.
Okay, and I'm doing a red and a green?
Yep.
Okay. And of course, you can do any colors you want. There's always a big, this pink Christmas and pastel Christmas, huge trend. Not really our vibe. We like kind of the classic traditional colors. But I also like that too. So of course, you can choose any color that you'd like.
Now,
This is cardstock. I'm sorry, we're using cardstock for our cards. You can use construction paper or whatever you have. Cardstock has a little more substance to it. It's a little more weighted and thick, so we think it's better for a card.
and I was going to say also, you can buy pre-made cards at Michael's that
Oh
are
yeah, that like a
blank.
pack of.
But I like making my own because
I'm using my bone folder here. This is just to help get a really nice even crease. The bone folder is part of the giveaway. It is a tool that we use for our next class. So we hope you enter the giveaway, and we hope you join us for our next
I hope
class.
so too.
I also love the bone folder. We use this for a lot of sewing projects. If we're doing a pillow or something, great way to poke out the corners.
You know, the bone folder is something I feel like we pull out more than I would have expected originally.
And back in the day, it was actually made with real bone.
That's true.
Isn't that creepy? Really kind of having these vibrant colors behind really help the card pop. Look at that. We just did that. Isn't that? That's why I love crafting. It's so much about like the process. I mean, the end result is great too, but like, what a journey.
And then do you want to cut one of these?
Sure.
Okay, so you just do a 1 millimeter. We actually only have one piece, so mine doesn't need one. It's like we can
Okay.
show the difference.
Where's the cutter? You just took it. So we're doing 3 layers here for our cards. So we're going to do a glittery paper behind our birch trees onto our regular card here. Of course, you can make it however you'd like. But we do think kind of having multiple layers really helps, you know, tie everything together. It makes it look a little more glamorous.
I think that's the trick with a lot of cards in general. If you can add layers, do it, because it really does make it pop.
I'm just going to kind of wing it. Did you say this?
No, I think you just want it a little bigger. That's what I also like about this paper cutter is that you can lay things on top and just do it easily like Dennis is doing. Very simple. While Dennis is doing that, just so everyone knows, if you're crafting along, I'm getting more water. I'm getting clean water for the next step. You definitely want a fresh batch of water and a clean brush for the sky portion. Because if not, it's going to look like a rainy day.
Very cute. Very cute.
All right. Ready to jump back in?
You know it.
Okay, so I'm going to put down our
I've never been
map
more ready.
again. Well, that's exciting. And we're going to put back our cards that are actually dry at this point.
Yeah, when you don't use a lot of water and a lot of paint, they dry pretty quickly.
All right, let me grab my brush.
Again, we do these classes every month. We have our next class coming up on December 6th. We're making our origami trees. So cute, all made out of paper. And our box we made with the Fiskars cutting board, which we are giving away today. So we hope you join us for that.
If you host like a dinner for Christmas or around Christmas, these trees would be so cute on everybody's plate before they, you know, start eating. I think that'd be just so cute. Okay, so for this next step,
Get me to the food.
for this next step, we're going to paint the sky blue. This is going to be a very, very light detail. What we don't want is for the sky to be overpowering and to take over, because you really do want the focus to be the birch trees. So the lighter, the better, because it does show up. I'm going to first, instead of starting to paint right in these spaces, we're actually going to take the clean water and we're going to lightly paint where the tape was. So the reason I'm doing this is because once we add the paint, the watercolor is going to, it's going to spread more evenly and give more of a sky look.
Okay, I kind of missed that whole thing. Let me just catch up. This
Sure.
Someone said, Susan said, I find it difficult to adhere regular paper to cardstock to glitter paper. Suggestions, please. Our trick is double-sided tape.
Yeah, I feel like
Double-sided tape works really well sticking
I think that
glitter
works,
paper.
Yeah. For us, that's kind of the best. They also sell those scrapbooking double-sided tape dispensers at Michael's. You could do that as well. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking the clean water and I'm adding it in between where the tape was.
Okay.
You don't want too much, but this is also going to create a barrier between where the blue watercolor is and the tree is, where you're not painting. It's
so
almost
this part
creating
is a little
barrier.
tricky here.
It seems a little tricky, but it's pretty simple. So you want to just try to line it up the best you can along the tree. I'm just taking my brush, I'm dragging it down.
Are you going all in on each?
I'm trying to go as close to the tree as possible.
No, sorry. Are you going across each section first?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm covering the whole thing with that water. Now, as you can see from what we painted, if you can see here, it's not a perfect paint job. I'm not trying to make it look like everything is blue. That's not the point. It is supposed to look watercolored. So you don't need to be too worried about this or focus on it. This is just an easy way to give you clearer lines and to make the paint spread evenly. You did yours already?
Yep.
He's so fast.
Do you have to work quick with this part, or is it okay if it's drying a little?
I think it's okay if it's drying a little. I mean, you don't want to wait for it to dry, but I don't think you have to rush.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm going to start mixing my blue paint. Again, we kind of were saying we want it to be really, really light.
Want a piece of paper or something?
Oh, yeah. Is there a piece? Here.
You could also just do this on the mat.
Yeah. But so way too dark, if you can see it here. That is.
You mind if I just move this?
Yeah.
So I always like to take it from here. Is that
Aren't
okay?
you special? All right. So then you're going to go. No, that's great. You created your own paper palette. So then you're just going to take your brush and add it. And I actually like to dab. I like to dab because that gives kind of some areas that are a little darker than the others.
Oh, I see. This part I didn't do. Andrew did all the sky last time.
Yeah, I kind of went in and was like, oh, I want to add like a little detail. Because I thought they were pretty on their own, but I thought they needed to pop just a little bit. So again, adding that water in before allows the paint to kind of spread. So I'm just dabbing my paintbrush like this. It's giving it a really nice watercolory look. It's giving me that sky, you know, like when it snows and it's so bright and blue out.
We haven't seen snow in New York in years.
It's been a while. So again, adding that water down just really helps this kind of
stay in place
and kind of move around in that area. Now, if you find that like your areas are a little dry, like I am, just go over it, oops, just like that, before you add your next color. Or excuse me, before you add the blue.
Very charming. This would look cute, like in a frame, like kind of build a little snow globe frame type of thing and have this like, you know, behind the picture.
I think so too.
It'd be very cute. And a lot of, I don't know if you have been at our classes before, but Andrew and I met on the national tour of Fiddler on the Roof, and our whole set had birch trees. So anytime I see birch trees or I think of, you know, this, or as we're doing this, I'm like, oh my gosh, remember our crazy set?
Is this the little girl I care?
That's kind of good too about these because they're denominal.
Yeah, I like that too. We did one that says Winter Wishes, which I think could be for anybody. There is something very Christmassy about, or like, excuse me, holiday-y.
Wait, sorry. I need to,
Here we go. There's something really holiday-y about birch trees, I find. You know, when we were making these, we were trying to find a way to add a cardinal, and it just wasn't working out. Just wasn't working out for us, but I thought a cardinal.
Yes.
Dennis really wanted a cardinal on it. I thought that would have been really sweet.
Jennifer said the pale blue looks more like a winter sky, cold, misty, and you can see your breath. Ooh, oh my God, so cute. Ha ha ha. That's why the beautiful singing voices. Very nice. Cards and voices.
And there you go. And then you just want to set it to dry.
Just finishing up here. Sorry, I woke up this morning with a little congestion. I think the changing weather in New York.
I know it was 80
really,
degrees 2 days ago. Now we're down to 50.
like 50.
It's been a mess. It's been a mess.
And I'm like very sensitive. My allergies are like crazy. Like I get those allergies where you can't do anything. What color are you using for this? This one?
Yeah, that's fine. Very nice, Dennis.
The cell block birch tree. Pop.
All right.
Very
And then we're just going to
cute.
let them dry. These do take a minute to dry because they're a little more saturated than...
A cardinal foam sticker, Connie said. Yes, you know, we look for cardinal stickers, and they do have them at Michael's, but the ones that we found were too large.
They were so big. Okay, I'm going to just take away this water so we don't spill it. So the next step, Dennis, is to add the snow
to the cards. Okay, so we're using, I think now that I'm remembering, we did do the watercolor. Do you want to do that, or do you want to use the paint pen?
No, I like the watercolor, I guess.
All right, so now we're just going to add the snowy detail around our cards here. You see, we did, we do these classes in advance, so I can never remember, but I thought we used the paint marker, which you can use, but we use the watercolor just to keep it easier. If you have a paint marker, of course you can use that. If not, you can use the watercolors, which I'm going to do. I'm going to take a thin brush.
Let me get a little water.
Thank you.
And you know what I like about using the watercolors is that you get to use these thin brushes, which I feel like we never use. Here we go.
Thank you.
And this really just elevates the look of the card. So we're just adding this like detail around here. It really, because we wanted to add snow on the trees, we couldn't really figure out a way to do that. So we were like, oh, let's just add it around here. So as you can see, Dennis is just taking his thing, and you really don't want a lot of water when doing it. So it's almost like an acrylic paint, really.
Yeah, and I think, obviously if we have more time, I might be a little more careful. But for this, I also think it's like kind of forgiving.
Oh, for sure.
It should look kind of like a little through a window type of vibe. To the window, to the wall.
Yes.
To the snow on my card.
Very nice. Very nice. And you don't need to go in the center because
that's where our birch trees are going.
So you're just kind of going around. I got this brush that is not cooperating very well.
That looks good though.
Oh, a toothbrush and flick it. I love that.
We used to do that back in my day.
I think that's a great idea too if you are doing multiple cards. Let's say you're doing about 10, 12 cards.
Yes, I love
line them all up, splatter it. You can get the job done in like a quarter of the time. That is a great idea.
Oh, Debbie said you can use the back end of the brush for a more circular snowflake. I love that idea.
Oh my God. Wait, I'm going to do it. Great tip. That's a great tip if you don't have a teeny little brush too. Okay.
That would be good too. Like you're all making me think about doing these in bulk, kind of just getting your large piece of paper here, doing the flick speckle deckle do with the snow and then cutting it down smaller. Like you can really make these relatively quickly in bulk. Do you all make handmade cards to send for the holidays, or are these you just do for special people? What's the vibe? Or it's a little bit of handmade, a little bit of store-bought?
I don't know. Sometimes I see those store-bought cards and I'm like, these are adorable. How can you say no to them?
I know.
But there is something so nice. My friend always has a handmade card.
I do. So they do handmade, they do a little bit of everything.
Is so sweet.
I think yeah, if you're going to do it, we always want to kind of do like a Christmas card making class in July, you know, because to kind of, I feel like, you know, that's a slower time for everybody.
Even though this is actually pretty early, I think.
This is early. It's a nice way to kind of jump into the holidays.
Okay. So now we're going to put our card together because we kind of have to keep things going.
Kathy said never ever had time to make them before. Retirement is great.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations on that.
I do for people. Yes. Yeah. The people who appreciate them. One person saying handmade, semi-handmade. Some years handmade, depending on the year. Absolutely. First year I plan to make them. Yes. Love to hear it.
Okay, Dennis.
All right. Let's kind of keep going. We're going to take our little birch. I can't believe we made these. These look so pretty. Look at them drying now. Let me just show. So cute. Do you remember which one is yours and which one is mine? That one's yours. And look at this really cute one.
Yours looks better than mine. I will say that.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I was waiting for it.
'Tis the season to be giving.
Wow.
Okay. So now we're going to start putting our cards together, or maybe we should just put yours because mine is a little wet.
Okay, yeah. So we're just going to kind of start to layer this thing. We do have the foam squares.
Yes. So I would
we like to do. I'm going to actually tape this to my glitter paper using double-sided tape. I like to do like a box, and I'm going to use the Fiskars non-stick scissors for my double-sided tape, which is a part of our giveaway today. I like to do a tight box around the entire back of the card. Of course, I have a piece of cat hair there.
Well, that's a gift from all of us, including the cat.
Then you know it's really handmade. And a little bit of Teddy comes with the card as well. So, sorry, I did my 4 edges right close to the edge there, and I'm just going to tape it down in the center of my glitter card here. My glitter paper. Do my best to center it. Kathy said, first time making cards. I just learned how to paint. Congrats.
Wow.
So cute. It sticks really well. We had a question about that. We love double-sided tape. You could try... I think our first try we did a glue stick and it didn't really work.
No.
So then we did that.
Okay, then you can use.
And then for this, we like a card with a 3D kind of element coming at you. So we're using the little square razors.
Yeah, these are just the foam square adhesives.
Foam squares, yes, that's what they're called. And we're just going to place that around the back of our card.
And they're double-sided, so it's easy.
And this, you can kind of, if we have more time, I would probably do it like maybe 4 here and 6 along the edge.
I think you just want to make sure that you also get the middle.
Ah, good tip, good tip.
Just so it doesn't warp in, you know, like caves in.
Right.
But I think for these, they come in different sizes. So a bigger
you
size.
You can also get, we had these, so we're using like these miniature squares, but you can get like a roll. That's basically like a roll of tape. You know, but a lot of times when crafting, you use what you got, you make it work. Designers make it work. So that's why we chose these.
We're like Santa's little workshop right now.
Oh God, I have double.
Okay.
Very cute, utterly charming.
Okay. Why don't you stick that on the card?
Okay, we're gonna stick this on the card. Is everything revealed or peeled? I can't believe it's my card that is making the final cut here.
I know.
What an honor.
So just while Dennis is doing that, we cut out these little Merry Christmas, winter wishes, season's greetings banners. Now I'm going to say you can handwrite these. You can use your cutting machine to do this, but we just cut them out with our scissors, and we're going to apply.
Did we do double-sided tape?
No,
oh, okay. We did a
these.
little.
We're gonna apply
Yes,
these
Tim
to them,
Gunn.
just to give it. You really don't even need anything on it, but I think just having like something is pretty sweet. I just need one more square. And then we're done with the card.
Oh, we didn't do the envelope.
No, we're going to do that in a second.
We're going to do the envelope. Okay.
Here we go. So you just want to kind of, I like it. We kind of try to figure out where to put it. I think this looks really nice towards the bottom. And come on, that is so beautiful. Adorable. Okay, before we go, we do want to show
the Fiskars gifting board, which we're actually giving away today because we need it for our class next month. Just look how cute these are. These are so adorable. And really, it does not take a long time.
And I don't think this technique is tricky. Let us know if you think it's tricky. I don't think it's tricky.
All right. So this is the Fiskars gifting board. Excuse me. You can make little DIY boxes, which we're using for our next class next month. And this is part of the giveaway today. And you can make envelopes and you can make little bows. The gifting board comes with this little measurement guide here. So you can make your own envelopes depending on whatever size you can. You just slide it to wherever you need. This is 5 and a 5 by half. And then you follow the prompts on your little sizing guide here to to kind of help you a little bit as you're creating. So to make the envelope, we already cut down our paper size. So you line up. This is the paper size we're using, 8.5 by 8.5, and the card size is going to be 5 by 5.5. And then you have the prompt here, which is the ruler position, 4 1/8. So here on the gifting board, it has all the measurements here. It also comes with a little scoring tool in the gifting board, which kind of helps you score. So for this size card, we want to do the ruler position 4 1/8. Can you just hold this up a little bit? So we're going to start here, 4 1/8. What we're going to do is we're going to punch it. And then there's a little indent here. And we're just going to score it. We're just going to score it. Then we're going to turn it, and we're going to line up this score line to the second score line. Give it a punch, and then we're going to score this way. And then we're going to turn it again, and we're going to line it up at our ruler position again. It was 4 1/8. Going to give it a punch. Oh, excuse me. Score it. And then twist it, line up this line with the scoring guide here.
What I love about this
just like that, we made our own little envelope. I'm going to use my double-sided tape to put it together.
What I love about this too is my friend makes her own envelopes and her own cards, and she always double lines it. So she'll have like a pop of color or like a plaid. So she'll do this twice, and then when you open it, there's something underneath that really just elevates.
So it looks like like a wedding invitation almost.
Yes. Wow, so easy. I know, isn't this? It's so super fast. I was like, we have less than 10 minutes. Can we do it? Yes, we can.
And then I'm just going to add some double-sided tape. You, of course, could use a glue stick or whatever you got. Again, I use my no stick scissors. Really easy to use. I'm just going to line it up on the edge here. I mean, are you kidding me?
That is so cute.
So cute.
And then you could.
Let's do the red one.
Okay, yeah, I actually picked it for the red one specifically.
We made this a little bigger, but of course you could size it that it's perfect.
I don't mind a little bigger. That way there's no chance people rip the card when they open it.
I mean, and then like a little wax seal on the back from Santa Claus.
Oh my gosh, did Santa Claus
send
this? That looks great. All right. We are ready to switch to the other
paper?
camera.
We started with a paper size that was 8.5 by 8.5. Hello. This is
Wow.
who you've been hearing the whole time. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. Again, we have our live craft class coming up next month, December 6th. We're making our origami Christmas trees with our plaid boxes. So we hope you join us for that. In today's giveaway, you are going to get the Fiskars cutting board. You're going to get the Fiskars non-stick scissors. You're going to get the boning tool and the silicone mat. Yes. What we ask you to do is DM us. We're going to do a trivia question, and we ask you to DM us your answers on social media or email us your answers at craftylumberjacks@gmail.com. You can find us on social media across the board. Yes, Crafty Lumberjacks, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, whatever, all of the things.
All of the things. Okay, the question is, now you don't have to get this right, but just submit your answer. It's all about engagement. The question is, around how many different types of birch trees are there? I'll say it again. Around how many different types of birch trees are there?
Yeah,
you can
and just
be close, you can be far. It does not matter.
Yeah, and this, this giveaway is only open to the people joining us live on the craft class now, not afterwards. So it's just for you all that are here. Thank you for joining us. We hope you join again.
Yes.
And we hope you have a happy holiday, and we hope to see you on December 6th.
Yes. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Bye.